Namaskar. Namaskar everyone. Thanks for joining us today on the IG Live. Namaskar everyone. Thanks for joining us today on the IG Live, the Cancer Fighting Indian Kitchen. Until we have friends joining in. So friends, in this IG Live, the Cancer Fighting Indian Kitchen, I would first add a disclaimer before starting anything. That this conversation is pure on nutrition and food and diet we'll be talking about to reduce the risk of cancer first and mitigate the negative effects of chemotherapies that happens during the cancer treatments. So I would request all the friends to take this conversation in a note of precautionary, not as a cure, because for the cure of the cancer, you need a right diagnosis, a right oncologist for the line of treatment. Going ahead. So friends, in India or Indian history, never had these chronic issues like cancer and diabetes. Even there are researches conducted by paleopathologists that Indus Valley civilization had never had malignancy. What is malignancy? Are cancer cells. Why is it so? Because of the lifestyle we had at that point of time. Our lifestyle included yoga, Ayurveda. It was never a style of life, it was a lifestyle. So the diet, the food, here we're gonna talk about is all about healing. And specifically also noting that the kind of styles of yoga which is trending like puppy yoga and all those. So we used to do yoga in action and raising a puppy was a separate thing. So coming back to the main topic, the cancer fighting Indian kitchen. Before we talk about cancer fighting foods, let us first talk about Indian kitchen. So in India, actually the healing starts in kitchen itself. I still remember the muscle sprains. When I used to have muscle sprain, my mother used to make a thick paste of turmeric, honey, tuna we also call as quicklime. She used to make a paste of it, place it on, like spread it on my the spasm area, wrap it with cotton, and that's it. Over a period of time it used to heal. That was the thing for us. Or when I say winters, so for me there were range of decoction to survive winters. These decoctions might have trending now during the COVID time or post-COVID time, but it was always a part of Indian people. Also talking about khichdi, it is still my go-to meal. When I have late night meetings with the clients or different works, I am on desk throughout the day, I need some light meal. Khichdi is always my go-to meal. It has now become like a gluten-free menu. So Indian kitchen is rich. Indian kitchen is like Kuber ka khajana. There's everything. There is something for everyone, I'll say. सबके लिए कुछ ना कुछ है इस Indian kitchen में. So coming to point that why we are promoting Indian kitchens as a fighter, or I'll say that how Indian kitchen plays an important role in fighting cancer, I discovered through this book. I really discovered that there are range of nutrition we can talk about, food we can talk about, and we can pick it from a daily food. That can not only reduce the risk of cancer, but also mitigate the effects of chemotherapies. And most important, nobody talks about the caregivers of the cancer patient. This book actually talks about it. So I recently picked this book by Rita Date and Dr. Seema Soni's Fighting Cancer with the Thali. And the beauty about this product, I say the book is that the first section of this book says an important thing, which is that you do not pick this book until you see someone suffering from cancer. Actually, you don't pick cancer books, you just go into a bookstore and you'll not pick the cancer book like this. There's always a story attached to you. And for me, I'll say that last year I have babysit my father when he was fighting with cancer. And I see Rita Date has already joined us. So let me add her as well in this conversation and she become the part of it. She joins in. In the meantime, I'll tell you. Wonderful, Veena ji, that you had a millet khichdi. We're going to talk about millets as well in this conversation. So I have sent the request to Rita Date and she'll be joining us soon. In the meantime, yes, friends, going back to this book. So the first section of this book talks about that how no one picks this book easily or any book related to cancer until you see closely the suffering of a cancer patient. And I have seen it last year when my father was fighting with cancer. Unfortunately, we couldn't save him, but I have seen closely his everyday fight with cancer. The kind of medications, the kind of treatment. In fact, we were in one of the finest, best medical institutes of India for his cancer treatment. But I realized there that there's an explosion of cancer. The young, the kids, the adults, the senior adults, everyone. Like, there's so many people suffering from cancer. Cancer just eats away your body. And even if you survive, then the chemo that raises your immunity like anything. So, yeah, we have, just a second. We have Rita Date. She might join with a different account. So, I have sent her the request with that. Just a second. Let me see if she can join it. So yeah, I was aware that this book about Rita Date. So I'll tell you this story of Rita Date. She's an inspiring mom because she has babysit her son when he was battling with cancer. And fortunately, by God's grace, they won the battle. And Rita Date didn't stop there itself. You know what? She volunteered to be the nutritionist of cancer patients. She worked closely with the cancer patient. And after that, she was able to, I think she's not able to join it. She's, Rita, if you can see, I'm sending you the request. You have to join it. Yeah, she's here. I think she'll join us soon. Hi, Rita. Namaskar. Can you hear me? Namaskar, Rita. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Rita? Rita, can you hear me? I think, Rita, you can't hear. Can you hear me? There is no audio. I think there's some issue with your microphone. Can you hear me, Rita? No, I can't hear you. Even I can't hear you. Do you want to join with different account? It's okay. Take your time. Take your time. It could be some issue with your AirPod. If you want to disconnect your AirPod and reconnect. Take your time. We are here. So Rita Date left because of some technical glitch, and this technical glitch always happens, friends. Even in our live programs also. So hellomyyoga is not only actually helping people to learn about different technology, but also making this yoga, Ayurveda, everything online with the efforts of technology. Yeah, going back to Rita Date, so she not only won this battle of cancer with her son, but she volunteered herself to the cancer department as a nutritionist, and she's closely worked with different therapists, different nutritionists, and different cancer patients, understanding that where is the lag, where is that gap, and she's tried helping people with the kind of diet they can work upon to mitigate the negative effect of chemotherapies. So her book is actually talks about not only the food in regular diet you can have to reduce the risk of cancer, but she has also given different kinds of mini thalis concept originating from Indian kitchen only for the cancer patients and for the caregivers. So she has taken in account um, the mental turmoil what caregivers also go through, and due to this it comes on their health. So what easy foods or quick foods they can work upon to have in their regular diets while they are attending cancer patients. This book is rich of foods. This book talks about so many good things. Let me send her a request once again. She is so send her the request. Hi Rita, can you hear me this time? No, we can't hear you. It's okay. See, there must be. Do you want to join with your different account, Rita Date? No, we can't hear you, Rita. We can't hear you. It's okay. There's nothing which we can hear. I can't hear you. Here, yoga always helps, deep breathing. In such situations, such episodes, you have to do a deep breathing to help yourself to understand the technology while the mind is saying so many things. So I'm gonna send her request again, and let's see if she can come with the different account. I've sent her the invite with Radha. Hopefully she joins with that account. Ah, Rita, where are you? Okay, once again send her the request to join us. Hi, Rita.
Hello?
Yes, we made it.
I apologize. I had my AirPods in and I don't know what happened. I'm really sorry, everybody.
Technology. There's a difference between a technology and manual thing. So look, without AirPods, how better it is.
Yes. Yes, ears are open. So, but thank you for the introduction. I heard the introduction. I could hear you. You couldn't hear me.
Yes, yes. So how are you doing, first of all?
Good. Now I'm good.
Okay, Rita. So thank you so much. First of all, I was throughout telling the friends about this book. while you were working on the technology part, I was working on your book. I was introducing this book, how beautiful this book has been created for the cancer patients and the caregivers as well, and the family who is attending cancer people. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your efforts, what you have, what reflects through this book. Then coming to all these things now, Rita, I always feel there is, in terms of foods, there's so much of varieties. Food choices is there's abundance in the choices. Food is important for human survival. So what do you think on those aspects, that food can be healing, food can be harmful? So what do you think about it? How do you put this through as a nutritionist?
Yeah, I mean, there's the history of food is very interesting. Initially we were an agrarian society, so our sole existence was just to make food, tend the garden, tend the livestock, etc., etc. And so just filling our stomachs was important. Of course, we've evolved, and I think perhaps during our great grandfather's time or earlier, there's still an importance on food. I mean, there were other jobs by then. People were doing other things, but what you put in your body was still very important. The timing. If you remember, we didn't just eat anytime, anywhere in earlier days. You sat at the dining table or sat on the floor those days, and the men and women would be very careful about what type of wheat they bought, where it came from, the rice, the vegetables, the fish, or whatever was in their diet. They were very particular, and the men played a big role in those days, as well as buying the food, because that was a major expense. Even now, today it's changed a lot, but 30 years ago and before that, food was a big part of the chunk of our expenditure, where in the West it was not. In the US, okay, Europe,
In
I mean,
India, it is still. I still remember the first thing when you wakes up, the mother, my mother or my mother-in-law, they questions, what do you want to have in breakfast, lunch, or dinner? So we have to actually, this is a big conversation at home.
yes, yes. Back then, I mean, it was just usually made by the elders. You didn't have a choice, which was sometimes good. You don't have to. You can't cater to 10 many kids back then, big large families. I remember my dad grew up in this huge joint family, and three women had the charge of making breakfast, and breakfast was a big thing and very laborious. All of this was laborious, so they would have to make the chapatis or the dosa or the things like that. And then those three women went away, and then the next three women were in charge of lunch. So food was always an important part. What we put in our bodies was important. We didn't have the diseases back then that we do now. We had other diseases. We had infectious diseases, which now we have medicines for. It's strange how civilization changes. You can't escape disease. You have to take care of yourself. Now we have the problem of abundance.
Yes.
Too much food. People are eating the too much food, not the right food, and not at the right time. I've
When you
seen
say
this.
about not right food, what do you think about unprocessed and processed food? It was never in a
It
diet. The
was
processed food was never a part of a diet.
I'll tell you, Shivani, I grew up in the US. That's why I have this accent, but I've been in India for 30 years. Pune is home. But I have seen the change. I came in 1993, and you could not find, even like, it was difficult to find even pasta. Okay. Now, when you go to a wholesale market, you see pasta in the same types of sacks as you see rice or wheat. People buy it in bulk. You know, my first book, must say, talks about obesity, how obesity came to India, and how junk food and processed food have kind of infiltrated our system. In 1992, India opened up. there was lots of opportunity, and our borders opened up to so many things. It was good. I mean, people got economically uplifted, but at the same time, all these other problems started happening. MNCs started coming in. I mean, actually, for example, tobacco. Less people smoke in the US, so they want markets, right? Let's kill Indians. Same thing is happening with fast food, processed food. Look at the shelves. You know, did you ever see huge Coke bottles before? Did you ever see huge, cereals? No, everything was in smaller quantities. Firstly, it was not there. Then slowly, 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 our supermarkets are looking like they are abroad. And
Rita, when you are saying this, I also see that, isn't it, the cancer, diabetes, it is all metabolic disorder. So we never had this concept of fast food. We always had a concept of fasting food.
yes,
So
yes.
how we are transiting from fasting food towards fast food. So that shows that there is a lot of intervention of Western civilization in our culture, you know, and that's because I'll say that they're like the kind of life which has changed in the cities is because we are aspiring a kind of lifestyle. We are fast forward people because we are working. Everything has become expensive today. People need security in their bank accounts. So we want, when we age, we want, a kind of stable life, and stable life comes with finance. We have been conditioned that ways. But in all this scenario, how do you see this fasting food? You know, how do you see that fasting food can be, because it is trending as one of the nutritious food, which is nice. But is it in Indian platter we have only these kind of the foods like amaranth, rajgira, or foxtail millet, or barnyard millet? Do we have only these options to mitigate the risk of cancer or any kind of metabolic disorder, or do we have anything else also?
There's no one food or one type of food that you can eat that will, take you away from cancer. You need to eat a variety of foods. For example, I'll explain to you the thali. You know, we talk about millets. Millets are excellent, and I do promote that in the book. For a few reasons. One, it's very easy to digest, and I'll explain why that's important. But the secondly, it is more nutritious than wheat. That wheat is not bad, but you are getting more bang for the buck, you could say. So something is more nutrient dense, so you are getting more nutrients. And back to the digestion part, when your gut is, when you can digest something better, you can absorb the nutrients better. So that's why millets are good. I do promote a lot of the millets in the book. But when you look at the thali, what's the most important thing is the vegetables. So let's not lose sight of what is already there. So we need an abundance of vegetables. 50% of the thali should be vegetables, a variety, a colorful variety. So that is the most important thing. And then, of course, the other grains are important, but let's not lose sight of the crux of the diet, of what you should be eating.
So, according to you, there is no such superfood.
There are no superfoods. There are only good foods eaten in the right quantities at the right time that can make you super healthy. Yeah. So
Going back to, yeah, you're saying something. So
I mean, superfoods are something. It's a marketing thing. There's something called nutraceuticals. It's pharmaceuticals that aren't regulated, basically. So these companies want to take one nutrient and make it sellable. They want to put it in a pill and make you buy it. I'll give one example. There's something called resveratrol. And there was a big thing in the US and abroad about how resveratrol is good for your heart. It's found in red wine, and people who don't drink, now there's pills for it. But resveratrol is found in peanuts. It's found in many plant foods. You do not need to drink red wine or take a pill. to get many of these nutrients. And a lot of these nutrients work in minute, quantity in your body with other nutrients. So it's not, you can't just take one pill and it'll get better. There are, I mean, I'm not, supplementation is necessary and can be helpful, but it's not a cure-all, so that's there's no superfoods basically.
You've spoken about millets and how good millets are in diet. What do you think? You have mentioned in this book about millets as a diet for chemotherapists during the chemotherapy. So what do you think about that part? Can you share something on that?
Sure. So like I said, ragi is one of the most digestible foods. You can say ragi, or they call it natsni in Maharashtra, finger millet. It's known as finger millet. I when I was growing up, I used to visit my aunt in Karnataka, and she used to make these big vats of ragi porridge for the dogs. Nobody ate ragi back then. It was only the dogs. And
it's expensive food now.
Now it's an expensive food. I mean, things that get healthy, unfortunately, get marketers make it more expensive. Now there's ragi dosa, ragi idli, ragi crackers, ragi this, ragi that. But just take the ragi atta, and this is, people like soft rotis. Mix it, cook it, and make a dough like a chapati dough, and roll it out and make soft rotis. There are in Maharashtra and other parts, there are something called bhakri, which is kind of hard. So people don't want to have that every day. But you can make millets in soft roti form. And I think and it tastes good. It tastes very good. So taste is one thing. We can develop good taste. We can make our kids and family develop taste slowly but surely. Keep trying is what I say, because sometimes, okay, you and I we know it's healthy, we'll forego taste and eat something, but firstly you can make it tasty, and secondly you just have to keep at it with your family. And yeah, even when you're having a dinner party, you can slowly introduce
this kind of
good food. Yeah.
I totally agree. This can be a way to going back to a standard lifestyle. I recently read and listened a lot of podcasts by Dr. Thomas Seyfried, and he has actually explicitly expressed that there were researches conducted on different tribes of Africa where there is no other countries' intervention first, and the tribes are still living their standard lifestyles, what their forefathers or ancestors used to live, and there was no cancer found. So, but look, there are a lot of people who comes and tells to us that they don't have choices in life, right? Because the kind of life they are living in cities, it's a fast-forward life. But here, through this platform, Rita, can you give suggestions on the kind of food which they can pick it up for their everyday life, which can be nutritious, which can be quick, which can be go-to meal for them?
Yes. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to earn more money, or wanting security, and or increase. I mean, developing your career. Hats off to you. It's a good thing to strive for, and everyone has different aspirations. But that said, you should not lose sight on your health. Okay, what's the point, right? So you have to, side by side, eat properly and move your body. So what are some, there are ways you can make things easy for yourself. Firstly, invest in a cook, invest in proper machines. But make sure you use them. Just don't keep them keeping space and getting dust. And use the things you buy. Try them out. What foods can you make? There's a variety of foods that are easy. Khichdi is a go-to one. Interestingly, I met a Indian couple when I was traveling in Kerala, and their IIT couple they went to IIT, young couple, they live in Amsterdam, and the woman has given up her job and she's making khichdi for the European market. And she's making all different types, different dals, different grains, different, but the concept is the same. And she says, it's kind of a little bit of Ayurveda. You do it for your dosha, or you start out with like very digestible khichdi and kind of move on to the next one. That I met them like a year and a half ago. I don't know what's happened since then, but I just thought, all our wisdom is going west, and all the bad food is coming here.
Package beautifully and then market here, and then we're gonna buy it. We are just waiting for the right time.
Yes. But don't go there. Go see what your grandmother made instead. So khichdi is one. All types of khichdi. Add some vegetables to it. Like I said, vegetable is the most important part. Bisi bheli bhat is a type of khichdi, the Karnataka recipe. Experiment with different grains and this thing. You can make a mixture on the weekend. My mom was a working mom, but I don't ever remember eating out too much this is in the US, but I remember every Sunday she would cook for at least 3 days. And I think another thing, we should make use of our refrigerator. We, a lot of cancer patients ask me, and their caregivers ask me, can I eat yesterday's food? And yes, you absolutely can. Just make sure it's refrigerated properly and put in at the right time, etc. But you can eat it for a couple of days. A refrigerator is a boon to society. Okay, you might get a 2% nutrient loss, okay? If at all, you do get a nutrient loss. But that is much better than eating out or, not having the time and stressing out. So I suggest
you have the surveillance of what we are cooking.
Absolutely.
There in the restaurant, we don't know what kind of oil, or maybe they might have used processed food. So it boils down to the same thing, that we are not eating healthy. Maybe it is a finest restaurant, but what we are eating, picking out from a refrigerator a day before what we have cooked, it's far much better than what we are eating outside.
Absolutely. You can't predict what you're getting at the restaurant. Like you said, even the finest 5-star restaurants or popular restaurants, they want the food to taste good. And they doesn't matter to them what fat, salt, sugar they're adding. Whereas at home, we can control it. Double up the food. Make the food for 2 days. There's lots of little tips you can use. Teach the cook. Send your cook YouTube videos. They love that. Yeah. And yeah. So I think you make use of technology and little tricks like this. Luckily now there's.
You know what? You were just talking about that educate your cook with the YouTube videos. With your book, I got so fond of amaranth that actually amaranth is not that considered food in northern part. We eat amaranth as cholai, ramdana, but not amaranth as plant. So in your book, you have given a dish on amaranth. I educated, I first experimented, I cooked, I really liked it. And then I actually educated my helper to understand how this food works. And now she goes in different other apartments and cook for them. So I'm like, okay, fine. So my education, my things, what I'm starting through this book, and it's helping spreading the awareness. This might be a very tiny initiative, but it's actually helping a lot of people out there.
Yeah, it has to start somewhere, Shivani. It's all about awareness. And I know you pick up any newspaper or magazine or podcast these days, you hear about food. And but still, like I said, I wrote my first book 7 years ago. The obesity rates are still high. We still just need to know that eating at home is important. That is really missing. I know that it's a social thing. You can be smart about it. You can reduce it. There's lots of things that one can do to have better health.
But you know what, Rita? In this book, the beauty about this book is it just not talks about sharing the information. it has given you a lot of information in a way that we can apply it. So there are so many recipes you have talked about. There are different foods and food thalis, different kind of thalis you have talked about. So for me, it has become like a, there is mini thali concept, there is thali concept, there is acidic alkaline food concept, there is auric value you have talked about. So there are different aspects you have talked about, and I have created my own food menu from a Monday till Sunday for like 7 days. I have created it and put it on my refrigerator where my maid just comes. She just sees the day, she picks the meal, and she cooks it for me. That's it. My job is to just go to the nearest vegetable vendor, pick the veggies, and put it in my refrigerator. This is how I'm planning my food. And I really guide all the people that this is the book. This can be a go-to book for nice foods which you can cook at your in your own kitchen. You can experiment it. Maybe you can send a note to Rita also that how you have experimented. But yeah, can you talk about acidic and alkaline food and mini thalis? What you have, a list of food which you
Sure.
have created.
There's a lot of terminology like acidic and alkaline, ORAC value, all these things you're talking about. But I think all you have to remember is all vegetables are alkaline. Okay, even lemon is alkaline. I mean, I know it's acidic, but when you have lemon and you get these pH sticks, you can test your body. And but basically, don't think too much. Anything that you go to a sabji mandi, anything that's there, that is good. That's fine. That is you can pick it up. Anything you go to Reliance Fresh or a local store.
We have lost your audio. We have lost your audio. Yeah.
While you're there, what you need. Be careful of what you buy in those stores. But alkaline, you don't have to remember this because these terms don't matter. Vegetables, fruits, all of them in different colors and varieties is the most important thing you need to remember for your health and cancer patients' health going forward. Talking about cancer patients, there are times, right now, chemotherapy and radiation has improved a lot and side effects are much less. However, there are a lot of appetite issues during chemo. So at that time, of course, you should eat healthy as much as you can, but the most important thing is that you get calories. So if you are craving something, your ice cream or a cake, or go ahead and have it. You have to feed your soul. Even otherwise, you have to feed your soul, has to be fed. But during cancer, there's a lot of stress, and you might crave something that you always hated, and vice versa. So it's important during treatment that you get the right calories. And in the book, there's a lot of solutions for side effects. Whether you might have diarrhea, you might have constipation, fatigue is a big thing after cancer. So what you have to do for fatigue, all mouth sores. We've given a lot of these tips.
Oil pullings.
Yes, oil pulling using our Indian wisdom.
Yes.
There, before there were no medicines, and we had used traditional things that worked and had less side effects. So yeah, I just wanted to bring up that point that when you have cancer and have these, it's important to get the calories you need. People call me and ask me, should I give them avocado? Should I give them some sour sop? Is juice okay? Yes. At that point, in order of preference, sometimes you don't need so much fiber. It depends on the chemo, your protocol. So maybe juice is better than a fruit. And during chemo and radiation, hygiene is the utmost important thing. So you have to really wash the fruits. We don't recommend you have grapes or strawberries because you just can't wash off that residue. Salads, I mean, it has to be, of course, very well made at home, hygienically prepared, etc., etc. So I just want to bring up that point that when you have cancer, that nutrients and the calories are more important than what the type of food.
I still remember last year. So during this time, there's a lot of jamun in the city. So jamun sellers were there. So I used to ask my father, "What do you want to have?" So he's like, "Get me some good fruit. I want to have fruit in the afternoon." So after his meal, we used to give him a bowl of jamun, and he used to cherish it. And then not only him, but other people in his, in that floor where people were like different kids were there fighting with cancer. So I just used to distribute jamuns for everyone. However, since I was limited with the knowledge and I was just researching with the food, what I can give him, how he can, his immunity can be worked upon. So I was working. So I just read there were like superfoods, avocado, different kinds of berries. So I realized that jamun is good or not, or how to go about it, because this superfood is actually has conditioned us that there are superfoods to every disease. There's actually superfood to every diseases.
Well, I don't think that is true, because you can't just have that one food and you get better. You still need a variety. Okay, for example, what's happening in the stomach? Okay, we were talking about probiotics. People are taking those supplements as well, and we know that dahi is good, and it is good, but you have to set your system. So you need prebiotics first, right? So what is prebiotic? It's all fruits, vegetables and fruits. So that conditions your stomach. Your stomach is getting conditioned to take in that probiotic to help your gut bacteria. So that's something you have to remember. Jamun is good. You don't need blueberries. It's very we have good berries here. I mean, I don't know it's called tutti karvanda in Marathi. I don't know the English word for it. Blackberries, raspberries, not raspberries, but yeah, local berries, boar fruit. All of them are very good. Nobody talks about those. They're easily available. They're
Because
cheaper,
they're
I
not
should say.
expensive. They're not coming in packaging.
They're not coming.
We're talking about only packaging food, Rita.
Yeah, they're not coming from overseas. They're not. You can't bottle them up. The pharmaceutical or nutraceutical companies can't get to them as yet. Drumstick is a superfood. Well, I shouldn't say superfood. We're getting away from that, but it is a very good food. If you have a source to get moringa leaves, I know it grows mostly in warmer climates, but a friend of mine has a farm, and I get her the moringa leaves. You can make a nice dal with that. Lots of recipes with the leaves itself. Leaves is something that we don't we kind of tend to ignore. The leaves of beets, of radish, and amaranth is a leaf from that. So all of these are highly nutritious. You can make I think in this first book I have radish leaf pesto. So if you want to make something fancy and make something a little different, our taste buds are used to different things now, that this generation, especially the younger generation. So you can still use our local ingredients and make creative foods. So that's my suggestion. Yeah.
All the friends who are watching this IG Live and will be watching it later. So friends, I would like to tell that hellomyyoga has actually got on board Rita Date for 30 plus recipes. So for 30 plus recipes, nutritious recipes, which you can cook it at home itself, we have created a list and aggregated from her book, different books, a 30 recipes on a blog section which you can visit from hellomyyoga.com, and you can find different kinds of nutritious food she has put together to help people out there. So you can always refer. If reading the complete book is a challenge, the blog is also there to help you out. So yes, Rita, you were adding something. Sorry, I break you in between.
No, you mentioned about the chota thali.
Yeah.
A good concept for everybody. or even at home, what happens is we eat our lunch, and then there's a huge gap between lunch and dinner. And you generally, you come home, you're tired, and then all you want to do is eat and sit in front of the TV, uh, which is fine. But I think you do need some nutrition. And what happens in the office, or I shouldn't say office, it happens everywhere. You get hungry at 5 o'clock, and then you tend to eat what's available. What's available in the office?
Yes.
In Pune, IT offices, they have bakarwadi, they have namkeen, yeah, biscuits. So stay stay away from that. That's how you're going to, gets you all the trans fats, unhealthy nutrients, and will make you gain weight. So pack a chota thali. I've called it chota thali, just so you don't have that hunger pang and that need to snack those kind of foods.
What are the examples of chota thali? Can you give us some examples of chota thali?
Sure, you can make a fruit and nut bowl. There's a lot of healthy bars in the market. You can make it at home, or bring it. I think I have a date nut ball. You can make just a couple of cubes of paneer. You don't need a lot. You get full with that. Your cup of tea or whatever you have at that time. You can make the regular snacks that we have, like upma or pohe, thali peet, small ones, whatever you have in the fridge. Even if you have little leftover from breakfast, a little bit of porridge, anything that is healthy, you can have. You can have a fruit juice, provided you don't strain it. That is something you can also, in the office, you can buy. This is also very important for this section of the Chota Thali section in the book is important for cancer patients, because they can't eat all the foods at once. Many times they cannot eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner every 2 hours. They might have to eat every 1 hour. So it's important to break it up and have smaller meals. Maybe one chapati at lunchtime, maybe another smaller roti or something. Or you can have your dahi. Dahi is an excellent chota thali, by the way. Just have a cup of dahi is filling and healthy, and it'll take away that hunger pang until you get to dinner. And speaking of dinner, I know that people come home and we're not using the body, but the brain needs a lot of calories and gets exhausted. Yes. So there's this concept called Shatapali, which means 100 steps. And after every meal, it's just a saying, but you should have a little bit of movement. Just walk around. 100 steps is just a way of saying, it's a way of saying move. So after a heavy meal, especially dinner, I know it's tempting to just sit, but just 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. A nice thing to do with your partner or your kids. Go for a small walk, and that'll go a long way to help your metabolic system.
So here, Rita, the movement part will come as a last question. But before that, I have a temptation to ask one question. So I've done a lot of researches on food books, then blogs written by people on nutritious diet. But even Indians doesn't talk something about which you have mentioned in your book, Fighting Cancer with Thali, is about tadka, tempering of food. You have actually laid an emphasis on tadka. And you have mentioned that how it unlocks the qualities of herbs. So can you throw some light on that as well?
Sure. So, you're tempering usually in the beginning of the dish, or you put it on top of the dish. You think this is about flavor, and it is about flavor.
Yeah.
It's definitely about flavor. But how is this different than just putting in the spices, like during cooking?
Yeah.
Like put everything in?
I have been doing it because I saw my mom doing it. She never mentioned it. What is the purpose? But we are always conditioned that tempering has to be done after the dish is ready.
Yeah.
So we just don't know. So why is it so?
I'm telling you, our civilization is brilliant. Okay. They knew that you that you took the oil, and when you put in these spices, a different flavor happens. Okay, flavor is one thing, aroma is one thing, and it's very important when you have cancer and you don't have an appetite. This can help different flavors and that aroma. Anyway, so that gives a different flavor to the food, a different taste to the food. Now, elaichi and long and other cinnamon and all those, if you put it on top of the dish, it will give a bit of flavor, but it just stays in that area. It's very difficult to mix that, okay, and have it affect the whole dish. Herbs especially. I mean, that's tamalpatra, the bay leaf and the curry leaf. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very hard to, how do you get that flavor? You have
Yeah.
to mix it in oil, right? You have to mix it in something. Um, that is one thing, and we also absorb the nutrients better when it is in that oil. Why do you think Indian herbs and spices are so helpful? It's because of the way it's cooked and mixed, and with all these permutations and combinations, we've created so many different types of aromas and flavors and garam masalas and etc. etc. So tempering is one of the gifts we have in our cooking.
So once again, friends, the people who are listening this IG live, I would like to tell Fighting Cancer with Thali. In the last section, Rita has put together very nice recipes on how the tempering or how the cooking or the preparation has to be done with each of the food items she has talked about. And she has talked about in this IG live as well. They are also all mentioned here. So you can always pick this book on Amazon. It's available on Amazon to buy. And you can directly write to Rita also. She can also send you a copy. Maybe from Rita, you're gonna get a signed copy. So, yeah, my last question before ending this IG live. In this book, you have talked about mind, nutrition, and movement. So, what do you think? What is the role of this mind, nutrition, and movement in the healing part?
Yeah. So my partner, I wish she was here. She couldn't be here today, but she and I had a lot of discussion on what should come first.
With partner,
Should
you
it
are
be?
referring to Dr. Seema Sonis, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's Dr. Masonis. So we wrote this book before COVID, by the way. It was almost going to publication, and then COVID hit, and then nobody cared about cancer. So then a lot of things happened, and finally we got it out. But anyway, movement is a big issue in the country. We're just not moving, and that is also causing, like what I said about the 100 steps. That goes a long way uh, in fighting metabolic issues. Even the doctors will tell you just move a little bit after you eat, because if you eat and you just sit, it's just going to sit there, and you don't digest the food, and then that causes lots of problems. And you might think, yeah, my dad also worked so many hours, but he didn't have this problem. But probably your dad and grandfather, they walk to work, or
Yes.
they move around the house. These days, maybe there's more help. There's just, we're just not moving. And if you look at people do go to the gym, people do go and do their 1 hour of workout, but then after that 23 hours they're sitting down or sleeping. So this has caused more disease. It is you go to a heart doctor, he's going to tell you to do some cardio. I mean, it's all about movement. We need to move our bodies,
I think
period.
it's the new smoking, Rita, isn't
Yeah,
it?
is the new smoking. I wrote about that 10 years ago, because I've just seen people, the kids, they want to play. It's going to be a lot of issues for them because they're just not moving. At least I remember we played outside and our muscles were stronger. I could see that. Even our parents, you could see their muscles. They didn't go and work out, but just the regular movement of the day, cycling to school, cycling, walking. The moms did a lot of housework, and had to walk to get the sabji and whatnot. So you know, you have to make an effort to move. I know there's lots of things you can set your phone every hour, get up, do a little bit of walking when you're working, have walking meetings. And yeah, I suggest just find ways to move. When you move, your BMR goes up, your basal metabolic rate, and will help you digest the food, burn the calories, take the stairs, don't take the lift, bring in your own bags. You know, you just give your staff off once a week. Do the work. You know, just find ways. Just find ways. Write them down and implement them.
Lifestyle modification is so important today.
Yes, lifestyle modification. You know, we just have to keep moving. So movement was important, but in the end, we decided that mind would come first, because mind is controlling everything. Mind will make you move, right? So yeah. So you need to have a good, strong mental resolve. You need to have the right emotional outlook. And so what serves all of these is yoga. You know, I just have this book. I'm showing this book because when my son had cancer, I had that by my bedside. And yoga, as you know, of course, it's asanas, but it's much more than asanas. Its purpose is to stop the fluctuations of the mind. And that helps you with everything. So, you know, my main thing is do yoga. Everybody should do yoga in some form. Move your body, calm your mind, eat good food, and yeah, that's my what I want to tell everybody.
Thank you, Rita. It was a beautiful session. But before ending this session, I would like to tell to all the audience, all the people who are watching us today, that movement is extremely, extremely important at this point of time and inspiring from it. Nishtha Bijlani, Nitin Jairaj, and Neelam Mangal have created Movement Lab, which will be with the help of, with the support of the Breathing Room. Founder is Rita Date, and we are hosting the Movement Lab in Pune on June 8th and 9th. We'll be happy to see you there. If you have any questions related to Movement Lab, you can always text us. If you want to buy this book, you can text us, or you can easily find on Amazon. And you want to connect with Rita for more discussion about the nutritious things, so you can always send us a mail and we'll help you in directly connecting with Rita. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Rita, for joining us.
Thank you to Shivani and the entire Hello My Yoga team.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.